Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and I thank the witnesses for the good work they're doing. One of the contradictions, of course, is that the more we spend on contracting, the more we undercut the chain of command in the military. And I want to just ask your opinions on things, because you're not the ones who make the decisions. Mr. Solis, I understand it's been recently reported that there's a $100 million contract to Blackwater, now known as XE, to provide security to CIA bases. And as you know, Blackwater's got an incredible history. The Nisour Square incident, they fatally shot 17 Iraqis. And it looks very much like it was a hair trigger kind of response. In December '07, Blackwater officials allegedly authorized secret payments of $1 million to Iraqi officials to buy their support for allowing the company to continue in business. The company's under continuing investigation with the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. In '09, Blackwater lost its State Department contract to provide diplomatic security for U.S. officials in Iraq because of the Nisour Square incident. And in April 2010, federal prosecutors charged 5 former senior Blackwater officials with weapons violations and making false statements. I mean, why in the world would we enter into any new contract with a company like that? Can you explain that to me, other than the urgent
I'm not
necessity?
sure I can answer the question, Congressman, in detail, but I think it's obvious that when the folks who are making the decision on that contract, they obviously have to look at past performance, how those folks have worked in the past. Obviously, the things that you've raised would raise concern, I would imagine. But not being in the decision chain, I don't know exactly how that decision would have been made by the folks who are
Ms.
making
Ugone,
it.
how about you? I mean,
well, there are a couple of things. Definitely, as Bill had said, past performance. And we did an audit a few years ago, and frankly, the population of past performance information, we're not doing a very good job of populating that. That actually would be quite helpful in having primes register that kind of information. They also have a section in the past performance information blocks for also providing information on subcontractors. At the same time, there also should be a look at whether or not any of these subs are on the excluded parties list or have been suspended or debarred. There are numerous checks that the contracting officer can use.
well, let me just develop on this, because obviously you can have a list where the history of the subcontracts is made available to the people that are going to be signing a contract, but obviously in the case of Blackwater, it's well known what their record is, so that wasn't a mystery to the CIA. And one of the dilemmas that I think we have, and maybe Mr. Bowen, I'll ask you to comment on this, is that the urgent requirements of providing security in this case to our CIA officers in forward operating bases, which obviously has to be a compelling concern for Mr. Panetta, outweigh considerations about criminal allegations, reckless use of violence by a company because they can, quote, more or less get the job done. So that internal contradiction means that we waive decency in some respects and go back to Blackwater despite their sorry record. Do you have any comment on that?
I think it's almost a rhetorical question. We can't waive core principles of stewardship of the taxpayer dollars. Mission accomplishment has to be balanced with the core principles of oversight and execution in country, and mission accomplishment does not trump those principles. I think, though, regarding the subcontracting issue, we've talked about it today. So much of it's discretionary. You know, what kind of information can you, as an oversight body, get access to find out what's going on below that surface, so that you and frankly, departments can make better judgments, and that calls for some, I think, amendment of the Federal Acquisition Regulation that will give you data, information about subcontractors, so that from this dais, you can make judgments about how the primes are doing.
All right. Well, I commend you for the good work you've been doing over the years. Mr.
Thank you, sir.
Chairman, I yield back. Thank you.
Thank you.